All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this another exclusive episode of The Reality Kenyan, and this is one of the best shows that gives you a highlight of everything that you need to know as far as the livelihood and everything is concerned. So today we are also joined once again with Wakili, of course, the Deputy Party Leader, Safina Party, Honorable Willis, Otieno, PIKI, PONKI. Karibu sana.
Asante.
How is PIKI Nation?
PIKI Nation is doing well. We are staying strong.
Yes.
Now just observing what is going on in the country. And one thing that I must mention, you know, if you looked at what happened over the weekend,
yes,
on the issue of the finance bill, the core pain right now in the arms of Kenyans is this question of the finance bill.
True.
And Kenya Kwanza administration has taken a position that you're either with us or against us.
Yes.
They're not opening up.
It has to
pass.
Yes.
You know, and some of these statements being made to Parliament, that, you know, a member of Parliament represents, as I said before, they represent the people.
Yes.
And it is the interest of the people that they're supposed to represent. If the people in their numbers are raising questions about the finance bill, then the same ought to be addressed. And they cannot just swallow the bitter pill without dealing with the concerns that Mwananchi is raising over these revenue-raising measures.
Yes.
The president said he'll be watching. He wants to see who is going to vote.
Yeah, the MPs who are
going to vote against the bill.
Yes.
Maybe another veiled threat.
Yeah.
And the deputy president said anybody who votes against the bill should not go looking for a road for his constituency.
Yeah.
You know, those are unfortunate statements coming from the top leadership of the country. Because if I hold a contrary view to the political leadership, it doesn't mean that I'm excluded from the political fabric called Kenya. Because you are still entitled to pay tax, and you are still entitled to pay services. You are still a Kenyan.
Yes.
So irrespective of how you vote, that's the beauty of our democracy.
That
you want the diversity of ideas and opinions in how people deliberate on issues of national importance. And if somebody holds a contrary view, that cannot be and should not be a basis upon which the constituents of that person are penalized. I will expect more a genuine conversation around how do we deal with this issue, what are these concerns, which ones can we accommodate, which ones can we drop, where can we rearrange the bill. And also, more importantly, you know, there's one thing that the Treasury and the government is yet to explain to Kenyans.
And what's that?
What they have not explained is, why do they want to increase the tax revenue in the manner they are proposing? That is almost punitive. Why? What is the pinch? And once they tell us the pinch and they say this is our proposed solution, then let Kenyans also say, no, consider also this as a solution to that problem. You see, they're not doing that. I can tell you where I sit, that the problem here, and I keep saying it, I want Kenyans to always remember me with this. The problem here is the debt burden. As per CBK estimate, documents from the National Treasury, Financial Outlook, next year they are paying 1.7 trillion in debt. That's the next financial year. Revenue projections for this year are 1.8 trillion. So it means technically the country is insolvent. You cannot pay your debts, pay your operations, pay salaries, pay counties, and do development. So their response to that is, okay, fine, all our revenue will go to debt. But let us now ask Kenyans to give us more money so that we can be able to live. But in my view, where I sit, that will not work, because we're trying to raise our revenue targets by more than 1 trillion in 1 year. That's a big challenge. So that, to me, is just a demonstration that Kenya Kwanza has opted not to deal with the problem. Because if they got a relief from this debt burden, that you get an instant relief that you are not paying this 1.7 trillion, then you will still have the 1.7 trillion and you can use it and apply it to other things. But of course you deal with the consequences of that default. And that is why I say people need to first discuss where are we and which are our huge expenditure lines in the budget, and which ones can we reduce, which ones we take out. Because the largest expenditure line in our budget today is debt. 1.7 trillion out of a collection of 1.8 trillion. You must deal with it. Because it is this debt that is burdening Kenyans. And my party leader said one way of dealing with it is defaulting the debt. Then we can go to the next phase. Let's audit this debt. Which one is payable, which one is not payable? Which one can you reschedule, restructure, if possible? So that you give Kenyans a breather. Otherwise, we are walking on the streets today. Kenyans are very hungry and angry. Very. And the cost of living keeps increasing, going up by day. Basic goods and services, the costs are unreachable.
They keep rising.
Manufacturers are, some of them are already closing shop. Some are declaring redundancies. Because they are looking at the cost of production of their goods. And they're saying vis-a-vis these tax measures that are coming up, the business will not be able to operate. So some are opting to declare some workers redundant. So now imagine you declare an able person redundant in this economy. That even if he was earning 40,000, now he will never be able to get this 40,000. You sent him into the jobless corner, where he will just be faced with more anger and pain. That is the unfortunate reality of our country today. And I am not seeing a genuine conversation towards addressing these issues. Having a real conversation on how can we turn this economy. Some people will say this is a global problem. It's not a global problem. You saw last week the United States raised their debt ceiling. And to them, debt is 13% to revenue. So it is very negligible. They pay too much attention to how much are we paying out, how much debt do we owe. So that at no time do you find, for example, that country in a situation where their debts overwhelm government programs. As our debt to revenue is today 80%, and it will get to 90% very soon. And we are not dealing with it. So we just need to step back and start dealing with this issue. How do we give our people instant relief?
Wakili, if you look at how the president and the deputy president spoke over the weekend, and the likeliness of this bill going through, what do you think awaits Kenyans suppose this Finance Bill 2023 is passed?
Pain. It's going to be pain. In the Finance Bill, let me start with the common items. The first item that is being, the value going up is fuel. We are increasing VAT on fuel from 8% to 16%. Fuel is a major component of production. So whatever you are going to produce, you will need fuel at one point or another. So the price of fuel is going to go up. In fact, my projection, by the time we get to September, a liter of petrol will be retailing at a minimum of 200 Kenya shillings. Now, manufacturers will not get money from other sources to cushion for that increased cost of production. It will be passed over to the consumer. So if I'm manufacturing bread and I use my vehicles to distribute the bread, I'm going to pass off. So if a loaf of bread was 70 shillings, because of the increased cost of fuel or production coming with fuel, I'll now sell you my loaf of bread at 78 shillings. So it's the consumer who is going to bear the burden That's to begin with.
Yeah.
Number two, the housing levy. People are going to see a reduction in their pay
salaries, yeah,
by 3%.
Yes.
But that is on the one end. The other end, you will see more the impact on business. If I have 100 employees, as you deduct them 3% of their salary, the employer must contribute.
You, the person who has employed them.
Yes, you contribute. From your production, you contribute 3% for each and every employee that you have. 3% to top it up. So if you have 100, you'll take 3% of all the 100 employees' salary. You pay into the housing levy. So of course that eats into your cost of production.
Yeah.
So if a business is not able to afford, you may say instead of 100, let me reduce them to 70. So the 30 go, I can use their salaries to meet these obligations.
Yeah.
There is the issue of the turnover tax, which is targeting anybody doing any kind of business.
Yeah.
Even Mama Poga.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, if you have a kiosk somewhere, you're supposed to pay a turnover tax.
Yes.
Which is pegged on your yearly earnings, not even income. It is not pegged on your profits. It is pegged on what has come into the business.
Yeah.
So if you are selling tomatoes, and for 1 year you sold tomatoes worth 500,000,
yes,
you pay
a turnover
tax on that amount, irrespective of whether you don't even deduct your expenses.
Whether you have made profit
or not, the loss, that one is not important. You pay the turnover tax.
Yeah.
So the finance bill, I can go on and on. The finance bill, unfortunately, when it comes to full implementation, if it passes, is just a promise of paying to Kenyans. And the unfortunate bit is that we are still not clear on how long this pain will last.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing what programs the administration is coming up with that will change the economic trajectory in the short or in the long term. One thing else that I want to say about the finance bill, specifically the housing levy. Ruto's administration promises that they want to use this to put up houses.
Yeah.
And they say they want to put up 200,000 houses, I think. If you are to do the math, to put up 200,000 houses in 5 years,
yes,
so it means every year they must put up 40,000 houses.
In 5 years for it to fit the
to fit 200,000. Now, for each year you must do 40,000. In fact, 1 year has gone. So let's say we are left with 4 years.
Yes.
So it means every month you must do 50,000. Every year you must do 50,000 houses.
Yes.
50,000 houses per year, divided by 12. It means you must do 12 months. It means you must do around 4,500 houses per month. Now, 4,500 houses per month divided by 30. It means you must do an average of 225.
Yes, around 25 to 30.
Houses.
Yes.
Per day.
So like from morning to evening today, the government should have done almost 20 houses.
Houses, yes. When you say something, it's not possible.
Is that why Kenyans now have branded the president into Kufulais?
And I mean, if you talk about the promises, somebody forwarded me something, a link on Google Drive, where Kenyans are promising, are keeping track, keeping them honest.
They are following.
Yes, everything you promise, you posted there, the date, the link. There are even videos. Of the promise. If it's a newspaper, they even put the newspaper cutting or when the promise was made and the status.
Yes.
And the unfortunate bit is that 99% of what has been promised has not been delivered. You know, we had been told that first when we started was that G2G, oil importation, was meant to deal with the dollar.
True.
That time dollar was 130 Kenya shillings to $1. And the promise was nimewapea tu hii wiki wenye wako na madola hii wiki release those dollars From next week, itakuwa 120.
Yeah.
126, 120. They did the G to G. Today, it is 150.
Yes.
Shillings.
Almost 20 shillings on top.
On top.
Yes, in 3 months.
In 3 months.
Yeah.
From the time when that promise was made.
Yeah.
So that was our false promise. We went to the gas. It was 1st of June. I told you here, to never change.
Yeah.
The price has not come down. I can assure you, even the new price we are being told by September. Fact.
The one from Mtungi. Yes.
The Mtungi will be more. The price of gas by September in Kenya, you'll be lucky to get gas 6 kgs.
Yes.
That is going for less than 2,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the reality. Because, and I'm not saying that I'm a magician. I'm not a magician.
Yes.
Just look at the economic trends.
Prophet
These things are informed
yes.
by what you call the cost of preparing the final product.
Yeah.
If your cost of production is expensive, don't expect that by any luck, stroke of luck, the end product is going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
The end product is informed by the cost of production. So if you're not dealing with the issue of the cost of production, end product is nothing. Cost of power today.
Yeah.
We are now buying power at almost 30 US cents per kilowatt. Before it was 22 US cents. Cost of power has gone up. Power is a major component in any industry.
True.
So the producer, whoever is manufacturing, will pass over that cost
To the consumer.
Yeah. So that is why I say, for me, I'm only seeing pain in the next 1 year or so.
Yeah.
It's going to be pain. Look at NHIF. They already said rural health facilities are not even accepting the NHIF.
Yeah, they are not accepting it.
They are not accepting the NHIF card.
Yes.
So
the police are also claiming that they will stop arresting people because there is no food to give them.
Food to give them, yes. That's the news today.
Yes.
That you don't have enough food to
give people in the
cells.
Yes.
And you see, once you put somebody in protective custody,
yes,
it is your responsibility to make sure you feed them.
Yes.
I saw Shakahola asking people to buy milk
and bread.
Once you have somebody in protective custody, it's your responsibility as a state to feed the person.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have enough money to feed those inmates, what do you think will happen? They'll start eating each other there. You love prison riots. We've never had them in Kenya.
Yeah.
Because a hungry man, people start eating each other himself.
Yeah.
Those are, some of them may be hardcore criminals.
Yeah.
You don't want them to get rioters. Because you don't know how it will end.
Yes.
Maybe the guards may massacre them.
Yeah.
Or you don't know what will happen. So those are challenges. As I say, the next 1 year is going to be an eventful period in the history of our country.
Yeah.
Kenyans will feel pain like they've never felt before.
More than what we are feeling right now.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
This one may not feel pain, yes? You know, at least you can take water and sleep. Now you may not even get the water to take to sleep. You'll die of thirst and lack of food.
And what is the way out of all this?
Of course, we've always held the view that the country has to step back and think of the economy. You know, there used to be an American political strategist of Bill Clinton who in 1992 elections.
Yes.
He came up with the mantra, it is the economy, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. Why I was saying that was because George Bush Sr. Was trying to make the election about the successful war, Gulf War, against Iraq, when Iraq invaded Kuwait. But the American economy was tinkering. So he said, it's the economy, stupid. Let's focus on the economy. So even Kenyans today, we have reached that point where we must say it is the economy, stupid. Let's look at this economy. What are the drivers of this economy? What levers do we need to play to make this economy to get a rejig? And if those levers, for example, include looking into what are the huge revenue expenses that we have to meet, deal with them. Because as I've told you, there's no way you're going to live as a country. If you have 1.8 trillion collection, 1.8 trillion collection, and you have a debt burden of 1.7 trillion, everything else you're doing you're chancing. Deal with this largest expenditure, which is debt. Deal with it. That is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to look at. People think they can pass over the burden to Kenyans. And by passing over the burden, it is just telling Kenyans, continue suffering. Because this rate at which we are going, before we know it, there will be no difference between us and some of the failed states in the continent, who, unfortunately for them, they are failed because they've had to go through conflict situations. Ours is not a conflict situation. Ours is a man-made challenge caused by overborrowing, irresponsible in my view, irresponsible and overborrowing in a manner not provided for in the law. Now that burden is before us, and Kenyans are being told, ignore it and dig deep to give us more. But government also collects tax from an economic activity. If there is depressed economic activity, where will you get this money? In fact, the economists call it the Laffer curve.
Pardon?
The Laffer curve.
Laffer.
We've reached the Laffer curve on revenue collection, on taxation, where you've overtaxed the people to a point that is now diminishing returns. There's nothing much you're going to get out of them because it's now a depressed economy. There's no new innovation, there's no new money, no new production that is coming up in your economy. You know, even content creators like you are going to pay tax.
Yes, actually, you see, you saw Eric Omondi was citing the other day.
Just somebody, because they are looking for money. So even just jobless corner who decided to be innovative and use their talent and create content on social media and use social media just to reach out, they are going to be asked to pay. So you are seeing a desperation in trying to collect because you don't want to deal with the debt. So you just hope that going forward, you look forward that if I get more money from these people and I retain what I've been collecting before, I'm able to pay the debt, then whatever I collect more, I'm going to start living afresh. It will not happen.
And this morning, Wakili, if you look at the newspapers today in the morning, there are news that some things are about to rise, like prices of the common commodities, the basic commodities like unga, sugar, these common basic commodities is about to rise by next month. Then we also have the issue of the police that you said not able to get money for. They have parked vehicles that are not working, and also the issue of cells not having food. There's also the issue of public schools that have not received money. Counties have not received money from April, May. Now we are in June, and all those messes. It's all about money. There is no money in almost every sector because you look at the police, the security. You look at the school. You look
Social
at
sector.
Yes. You look at the hospitals. You look at the county. It's almost now in every sector. And here we have the finance bill. And from what the president was saying, it's like they are going to get this money to sort all this and also the debt. In your view, do you think that this is going to even worsen the situation than what we already have?
As I've told you, we've reached the Laffer curve. Our revenue projection, the collection has reached here. So in the Laffer curve, is about going down. So everything is now going down. If you're collecting up to here, and you still have all these problems that you're saying, the president hopes it will go up. But with the Laffer curve in economics, it's going down. It's a depressing economy. So there's nothing more to collect. Unless we strike gold in huge quantities in Kenya, that we've gotten a gold reserve, for example, that is worth $1 trillion US. Maybe. But everything remaining constant, things being as they are today, there's no more money you're going to get out of Kenyans. If anything, the sums that you collect in tax will just go down. There's nothing that the president can do about it. It is not of his making. His is to deal with the debt. These problems that you're saying in the social sector and security sector, all those things they're just going to become more and more.
And suppose they become more, and until that, mpaka wa Kenya now, they decide that it is enough. Don't you think if it gets to that point where now every Kenyan is out there protesting and demonstrating and just telling the government that it's not, wamefika mwisho, don't you think at that point it will even be more hectic for the government?
Of course, they'll have to deal with the constant demonstrations by people. I mean, the right to picket and demonstrate is very well anchored in Article 37 of the Constitution. You cannot do anything about it. You can only facilitate it. And if Parliament votes to pass the draconian finance bill, you see Parliament as a body will have shown that it's not in consonance with the wishes of the people. And nothing stops the people from expressing their displeasure by calling for demonstrations, open demonstrations. You saw this trade union demonstration last week. And if you look at now the cadre of unionists, majority of them have even broken ranks with Mr. Twoli, the Secretary General of Court, who has kept quiet in light of what is going on. You know, one thing else that I must tell you tied to this. When we had Labor Day, on the 1st of last month, in recent memory, it was the first time that the minimum wage was not increased. And that was a recognition that industry was not able to afford to meet the cost of an increased minimum wage. It was going to be to raise the cost of production further. So a sense, which to me makes sense, a decision was made which makes sense, that in light of the prevailing circumstances, we cannot increase the minimum wage so that you don't overburden industry. But at the same time, you've now brought in new revenues, new taxes and levies that you're imposing on the same industries. If you could not raise the minimum wage to there because you knew industry was not able to absorb it. Now again, the same industry you're asking to pay more.
From what has not been increased.
It's like you could as well have increased it. But the reason why we didn't increase it was because what informed the decision was that you had economic outlook that if you increase the minimum wage, the industries will not be able to afford it. But now you are making industries to meet another burden, which still the prevailing economic conditions will show that they are not able to afford it. Now that is the unfortunate thing where we are. And Kenyans will have to, on their own accord, make known their individual feelings when taxation becomes a burden to the people. And we will at some point need to have a national conversation. How do we deal with these economic problems? We cannot keep hiding our heads under the sand. The time has come when we must all in one accord stand up and say no. Enough is enough. We are not going to be overtaxed and made to pay for things that we don't know. Governance is about us and we need to be involved. Our voices need to be heard. And if it cannot be heard through members of parliament who may be compromised, then let it be heard through acts of protest and demonstrations. Maybe that will push the politicians to come to the table and be able to sensibly come up with policies and measures that are not draconian or punitive to the common man. I always say the hungry man is an angry man. Kenyans are very hungry. Kenyans, majority of them, cannot afford 2 meals in a day. People are barely making a living. We are having now what we are retrogressing into what I call a subsistence economy. Subsistence economy that all I care about is what I eat today. I'm not producing for the country and even for myself. You're just looking for something to eat for the day. That is when you see in some countries, we are a very poor country, but people plant maize and cassava and millet, and because that's to eat. You keep some chicken free ranging. They go into the wild to harvest herbs and berries and fruits and eat them. So there is no production in that kind of a setup where you only exist you only exist to eat for today.
Yes.
But Kenya had passed that stage. We were no longer subsistence economy.
Yeah.
As we are about a production economy, where you are should be able to produce what you can consume, and then sell the surplus to grow the country.
Wow. Wakili, as we wind up, on behalf of Safina Party and you as the deputy party leader, what can you tell Kenyans about the current situation and maybe the forthcoming consequences and how they can manage all this as we keep on?
The first thing is Kenyans must brace themselves. Know when you are prepared mentally of what is coming. Yeah. Maybe you'll absorb the pressure. Yes. You will not land as painfully as if you are not prepared. Yeah. So Kenyans must brace themselves. But I also want Kenyans to get involved. Yeah. Everybody should put their MP to task to explain whatever decision they are going to make on this finance bill. If you are for it, the MP should be able to explain to his constituents the very reasons why he is supporting and respond to their concerns. If you are against it, you must also be able to explain. So let everybody account. There is a song that says, na kila mtu atauchukua mizigo yake mwenyewe mbele ya Mungu siku hiyo inakuja. So every single member of parliament must carry their mizigo and face their constituents and explain what is going to inform their decision on this bill. Yes. If you believe that you are acting to the best interest of your constituents, carry the burden, go and explain to them. If you believe that it is the best interest of the people of Kenya not to vote for this, carry that burden and go and explain to them and tell them an alternative. As Safina Party, yes, tumebeba mizigo na tumesema the problem is debt. We must address the debt problem because it's the single largest expenditure item on our budget books today. Address this debt, default if need be, restructure if possible, declare arrears if available. Remove this burden off the back of Kenyans. They will get a relief and immediately come up with measures that are meant to spur an economic growth. If you remove the 1.7 trillion debt burden today off our backs, yes, for example, then you will not need to raise fuel VAT to 16% because now you don't need the money. Yeah. You can even reduce it. So the relief you get, come up with policies and measures that are meant to spur growth, that are quickly able to make people, get people back into doing things that will earn you more revenue. Yeah. That is our explanation to our constituents. Yeah. Tumebeba mizigo, tumewaelezea. Wale wengine pia watabeba mizigo yao. Yeah. And they'll have to tell Kenyans why they chose that route.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much, Wakili. That is it for the Reality Kenya, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, may God bless you. My name is Simi Kenya. Share with everyone. Of course, follow and always share with everybody so that we can get to know what's happening right here from the Learned Corner. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana, Wakili.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.